You might have seen in many videos that the transom was not painted yet, and that is going to be solved right now. First I'm going to apply another layer of primer. It's been sanded already, this first layer, and then after this layer of primer it sets or dries very fast, and I can apply the first layer of Phew paint. The top part of the transom on top of the platform is already dry. I think, what is it, coffee break in an hour? I think after coffee break I'll already prep the Phew paint and cover it. I'm going to roll it on with a big nice varnish roller and then tip it with a big paintbrush to make it nice and smooth, just like we did on the superstructure roof. And it looks very nice, doesn't leave any bubbles or anything.
This is definitely a milestone that I want to take the time to celebrate. We painted the whole hull, you guys know it, and then the transom was just a small part, so we left it for after, and then that after never came, and it was really bothering me that we couldn't say the whole boat's painted. And now the transom's painted, so yeah, the hull is painted. All we need now is the anti-fouling, and then of course above the superstructure, but the hull is painted, and I can say that with no buts. It's just the hull is painted. Dot.
This GoPro keeps turning itself off, but either way, we missed those heads being cut up very simply with a cutting disc, grinding disc, and we've got another thicker grinding disc just to sharpen these, and that should work nice. One more job to do before we start painting is, I'll show you down here. Let's jump down. A really long time ago, can you see that? We drilled some holes in this roof and added this threaded bar kind of, what do you call it, a drainage system, because we want to start collecting rainwater. This roof is going to have the beam going through the middle, of course, when we're not sailing, and all the solar panels all over the place over here, as many as possible, of course. So I'm going to have to find out where that hole is and measure to put a batten down the side of each one, so whatever rain falls on top kind of gets guided to that hole, and then in through hoses into some tanks. We'll work on that in a little bit, but for now I just want to cut these battens before we start painting the roof. To be honest with you, I knew it was going to start raining very soon. However, I didn't know it would arrive so soon. Quite upset that it is raining. However, what do you do about it? Until then, we're going to work inside. I'm going to head over to the engine. That's the first thing. Finish off, or at least almost finish off, that saltwater system in the engine. All that will be missing after today, hopefully, is the exhaust system, diesel tanks, and a through hole. Anyway, off to the engine room we go. Next on the list is the saltwater cooling system of the engine. We have the engine cooling system, however, all the hoses are still missing. So that's what I'm going to start on. This is a connector that came with the boat. We don't know where it went exactly. However, we are going to use it again. But you can see here, can you see there? Focus, there. It's looking quite grotty. And this bit over here is too long, so that's going to be cut to the size we need. I have completely lost it right now, but I believe, I know this little hose nozzle on top goes to the other side over here by the gearbox. I'm pretty sure this goes to the exhaust, and I'm just not sure where this comes from. I think this is the output from the water, goes through here, out to the exhaust. Now that we just have nice stainless to work with, we can start welding. Also, I want to show you what's happening here by the helm. It was a dead space before, or very hard to access, and we're deciding to turn all this into kind of little hatches. We made this big enough in case we want to have nautical charts. We can roll them up and put them in here. If we want them flat, we can always put them somewhere else. But yeah, we're trying. And Jilson's doing an amazing job trying to imitate this onto the other side, which didn't exist yet. And then soon we'll have nice little lids on top of this. The middle bit's going to be fixed, as that is where the compass is going to go. And then later we can play around with where all the switches are going to go, bilge, pumps, the plotter, and so on.
Okay, I need 1 second of your attention. We know that many of you watch our episodes through your TV instead of your computer, which is great because you see us in a very big screen. But then that subscribe button might be a bit hidden. So make sure you scan this QR code right here so you can do it through your phone. It's gonna be so easy.
This over here used to be one huge lid. Water came in through the windows. I don't know where it came in back then, but this was all rotten. So it got ripped out and rebuilt. And we thought, why not make little compartments instead of having one big piece, which is really difficult to maneuver or open and shut. So we have one big lid, most forward, which is going to have a little hinge at the back and a little hole so we can open it. This middle piece is going to be fixed where the compass is going to be on. Very nice big lit up compass. And we've got all these little side pieces which can be used to either have, I don't know, the plotter on top of, so not open and just hide wiring. Or we can have it to open and have as storage, like this one over here, which is very close and accessible to the stairs and to whoever's standing where you guys are standing.
We are so used to seeing everything messy and dirty that looking at this is like next level for me. I'm so happy with the result we got here, and also I'm very happy with the varnish we chose. We didn't choose it because of aesthetics, but here, I don't know if you can tell, but we added a matte varnish that's not shiny because we didn't want to have the glare when we are navigating, so that's why we chose a matte. But now, looking, I think the first aesthetics, I would have chosen the same one because I think it looks chic. I really think it looks very, very nice. So the buttons are shiny. I don't know if you can tell the difference. And this one is matte. So here we have the reflection, but it's small, and this big surface is not giving us any glare and it's looking super, super nice. Thank you so, so much, Nico. You are the best.
I think this system is quite straightforward. I'm gonna have to go down onto the deck and drill upwards where that hole is so I can figure out where to start with this batten. And I think I'm just gonna place this tip by the hole and start fastening it to the roof, making sure it's nice and straight and looking nice. Chop the end bit off because it's a bit too big this side. And then when that's done, that will be completely dry, of course, not glued or anything. Lift it up, epoxy under it, fill all the holes with epoxy and drill it on permanently. Fill the countersunk holes as well, and then epoxy the top of it, and then I think we can start painting. And then I'll do the same on the other side. The only difference is it's 2 battens instead of 1. This is the first hole done. Now I am going to continue by placing this batten, and I'm going to give you a very cool background, which is this boat completely turning around. Or I might just... Is that rain? It wasn't supposed to rain. That sucks, because that means this can't be done properly with epoxy. Even though it's raining, I'm going to finish making these holes actual holes and then round them a bit with the router. That will bring us one step closer, so next time when it doesn't rain anymore, I can start with those battens. But yeah, next hole. Done. Now I'm just going to go up, cut this out properly, get the router and make it look nice. That is exactly how I've planned it to go so far, and that really happens. Anyway, second hole over here, get the router into it to make that nice and round. I'm really wondering if I should just do it today anyway. Look how much it rained. Is that too much rain for epoxy? See? And it's like so hot now. I think give it 2 hours and it'll all be dry. When that ship has turned around and has left out of my sight, I'm gonna epoxy anyway. If anything, I'll go over with a heat gun. I'll go over with some rubbing alcohol, get all the vapors out, everything that's wet. It's not even wet. It's already, since I've shown you, it's already dried, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna do this today anyway, because waiting for a day of 100% dry is never gonna happen here. Second hole done. A little bit scruffy on the inside, but I think I can get a little sanding paper wrapped around a drill bit and just get rid of that. Anyway, I'll be back when that ship's turned. This ship is long gone, and just to prove it's super hot now and all very dry, I don't even need a t-shirt anymore, that's how warm it is. So anyway, I think I'm gonna start just about like here, and then I'm gonna kind of bend it or even keep it straight, I don't know yet, all the way to the back. And I'm not gonna put anything here on the front or on the back because I do want stuff to eventually run off. And this hole is the lowest point, those two. It's just because we're on land now that it doesn't go here because we're kind of sloped back, but that is the lowest point. And on the bow we're not going to have anything because I also don't want a swimming pool on the roof. I think I'll start from the back and move forward and then just chop off the bit that's too long, but yeah. Otherwise I can't see how much the wood can bend, so I want it following there. Whatever, you'll see. Good. Okay, pick up. Yeah. 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 Very good.
This here is the dry fit of our rain catching system. You can see we did a curvature so we can guide the rainwater to this hole where the hose will be accumulating everything in a tank. Now what we need to do is remove it back so we can actually glue it with epoxy and really protect this wood. So this was just a dry test and now it's the real thing.
Nice. I've made a bit of epoxy with Cabasil so it's a bit more solid, and we're going to just fill the holes of the screws with that and also glue the batten onto the roof with that. Now I don't know, we might have to add some more screws of course depending on where you want the epoxy to just squirt out of all sides, but that can be done later. But first we just want to get it in place and then we can play around with it. Slight change. I forgot we had these bags in such a long time that we've had to use this much epoxy. That wasn't fiberglassing. Look how fast this is going to go now. Starboard side is done. We ended up putting a lot more screws in just to get like all the epoxy squished out in every place possible. I dropped a 3/32 inch Allen key down in that forest down there, and guess who found it?
The scuba diver, of course.
Anyway,
This thing here, down there.
anyway, so which means we can work on the next one. So we're gonna have this one up to here, fasten it down nice and tightly, and put the second one up to the hole, and probably the other way around so we can get the corner done nicely, and then add the next bit to the end. So we're pros at this now, so let's get going.
Are we?
We're pros.
Just finished dry fitting port side. Now I'm gonna remove the screws we added. Ben has gone to the shops to buy some more screws, and then we can finish this up.
Thanks to my little helper, this is also done now. Thanks to Rafa, we've got loads of plugs in there, which is really cool. Here we just managed to fill the holes with the remaining epoxy, so that was quite quick.
And our neighbor's leaving.
And our neighbor's leaving over there. Comment below before watching the rest of this video if you guys recognize that boat when it arrived here for the first time. Be honest, comment below yes or no if you recognize this boat, and we will reveal right now what it looked like when it arrived. And look what it looks like now. I was just about to wrap up this work over here, however, do you think we should just put that last little batten in to finish it?
Just that? Yeah,
Tiny bit, like we've got this one over here, just need to cut a bit, it's completely straight, no curves, no nothing, so it should take no time, because MP's gonna do it. Come on. Looks like you're at the end there.
we did it, Lovey.
This is just something that can't fail. The roof slopes forwards, rain falls on. If we're sailing or whatever, it can fall off the back, it can fall off the front. When we were floating, we found the lowest point of one of the lowest points of the roof, which is that hole. And all we did now to prevent lots of spillage in light rain is this little batten down the side. Of course, in heavy rain, it'll probably flow over anyway. This is just to guide most of the water through that hole there. And we don't want to put anything else here because a paddling pool is going on the platform. And the swimming pool is going on the platform, not on the roof. You agree?
Yeah. The swimming pool will be all that.
Can I have a sip of your beer, please? It's not hers, don't worry.